Good day, viewers. You are welcome to Tindanious Maths and Science tutorials. We are considering conditional permutations type 4. Please, if you are new here, visit my very first video on conditional permutations type 4, where I've explained every parameter or every variable over there for you to understand before attempting questions. So we have find the number of arrangement of the letters of the word parallel. Parallel if the else must come together. Is that also? So here I have my else over here. This is one of the L, but I realize that the L is appearing 3 times. So I have L, then L, and L. Right? So those L, okay, coming together, the one we are about to treat, okay, the one that we want to consider as a single unit is denoted by what? By the letter P. So we say what? Let P be equal to what? Equal to what? The number of what? Of the L's, okay, being treated or considered as what? As 1. Okay, so as a result of that, we say P is equal to viewers. P here, we have how many L's do we see over here? It's 3. Alright, so you have P is equal to 3, as simple as that. So if I have parallel this way, okay, and I've taken all the L's from it, so this L is out, this L is out, this L is out, okay, because I've consider them as a single unit. So what is left? What is left is what? Is P, A, R, and A, and finally E. Is that also good? So viewers, but before that, we should know or we should calculate for the total number of letters in the word parallel. So we say what? So let our N denote a total number of the letters. Okay, so my N here is equal to parallel has how many letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Starts with 8 letters, right? So viewers, we said you see the P is as a result of the L, right? So I would say, okay, if I am saying the P is coming from here, from the L, and L, okay? Then I'll say, okay, then let P1 should come from the set of the P. So let P1 be equal to what? So let P1 represent what? The number of what? Of the L's. So therefore, P1 here is equal to what? It's equal to 3. Is that also? But viewers, if you have, let's say, J over here and G over here appearing more than once, okay? So we say what? Let P2 represent what? The other letter, okay? So we say what? Let P2 be equal to what? 2 J's, right? As simple as that. But here, we don't have J over here. So since P1 is representing all the L's, then I think we are done with that. Then we are also saying, okay, we are done with the LL, right? Now let us tackle P, A, R, A, and E, okay? So we say, okay, then let N1, okay, represent this, okay? So here we have P. How many P's do you have there? We have only 1 P. But I said the one appearing once, okay, we don't consider them. Because 1 times any number will give you that same number. So why should you worry yourself considering those appearing ones? Is A appearing once? No, twice. So I'm going to consider A. So I'll say let N1 represent what? The number of what? Of A's. So therefore N1 is equal to what? How many times is A appearing? 2 times. What about R? R appears only once, so I'm not going to consider that. E is appearing once, so I'm not going to consider that. So I have P1 only and N1 only, okay? Now viewers, what we did here was we had the original word to be parallel, okay? And we took L from it because we want to consider the L, okay, as 1. Now, the letters left is denoted by N minus P plus 1. If you are new here, visit my lecture videos, you understand where it is coming from. So what? So the remaining letter, okay, left. So the remaining letter left is given by N minus P plus 1, which is what? What is my N? My N here is what? 8 minus P. P here is equal to 3, then plus 1. So I have what? 8, then minus 2, which is equal to 6. As simple as that. So viewers, now let's go straight ahead and apply the formula, okay? So once you know this, once you are able to code the formula, you just substitute the values into the formula and that is your answer. So we say, okay, A, okay, the number of arrangements if L must come together or must be treated as a unit is given by the formula, viewers, the expression N minus P plus 1, all factorial, then all over N1 factorial times N2 factorial times N3 factorial. But from here, we don't have N2, we don't have N3. So you end at what? You end at N1, then factorial. Then times the formula, you have what? P factorial over what? P1 factorial times P2 factorial times P3 factorial. But in this case, from the question, we only have what? P1 factorial. So you end at that point. You have what? P1 what? Factorial. That's the formula. So viewers, you ask yourself, do we know N minus P plus 1? Yes. So viewers, from here, okay, here, the formula, okay, we had N minus P plus 1 to be equal to 8 minus 3 plus 1, which is equal to 6. Right, so I have my 6 over there, factorial, then all over. Viewers, do I know N1? Viewers from here, you said what? N1 here is equal to 2. So I have what? 2 factorial, then times P. So P here, viewers from here, you said P is equal to what? 3, then P1. P1 is also equal to 3. That's very interesting. So I have what? 3 factorial over, then 3 factorial. So viewers, here is just what? Calculator work. So I have 6 factorial over 2 factorial, then times 3 factorial over 3 factorial. By the help of the calculator, we are getting 360, right? So here we have 360, as simple as that. And for the B, we have what? The number, so the number of arrangements, if L must not come together, or if L must be separated, is given by the formula, viewers. The formula is N factorial over N factorial, that's N1 factorial times N2 factorial times N3 factorial times P1 factorial times P2 factorial times P3 factorial. This is the formula, viewers. This is it. N factorial over N1 factorial times N2 factorial times N3 factorial, then times P1 factorial times P2 factorial times P3 factorial, then times P factorial over, so I think that's times N minus P plus 1, all factorial this way, then all over N factorial, that's N1 factorial times N2 factorial times N3 factorial, okay, then times P factorial over then P1 factorial times p2 factorial times p3 factorial, right? But viewers, we realize that from our data, okay, we don't have n2, n3, right? So here the formula becomes what? You compress it to what? n1 factorial. And remember here from the formula, the n is multiplying the p's, right? But here you have only p1 factorial. You have n1 factorial only. You have p what? 1 factorial only. Then times, viewers, from here, realize that this formula, okay, which is n minus p plus 1 all factorial this way over. But here you have only one n. So n1 factorial, right? Then times p factorial over. You don't have p2 and p3, so you have p1 factorial. This formula, okay, this is what has been calculated for over here. The whole of this, okay. And we have what? 360. So ideally the formula is supposed to be what? N minus p plus 1 all factorial, then all over what? n1 factorial, then times p factorial over what? p1 factorial. But remember that the whole of this, okay, is the same as this. And when we evaluated this, we had what? 360. So simply say, we know n here, viewers, our n here, we said n here is equal to 8, right? Alright, so let's do substitution. I have 8 factorial over, we said n1 is equal to 2 factorial. We said p1 is equal to what? 3 factorial. They are multiply them. Then times, given the whole of this is what? Is the 300 and what? And 60. So this is it. Sorry, it's supposed to be minus, okay? We are subtracting, okay? So we have what? Minus 360, right? So given from here, supposed to be minus, okay? Yeah, that's it. So minus n factorial over n1 factorial, okay? So that's it. So by the help of, the calculator, we have 8 factorial over 2 factorial times 3 factorial this way, then minus 360, and we are getting what? 3,000. So 3000 number of ways if L must not come together. Viewers, this is the end to this simple question. If you are new here, start watching this video from conditional permutations type 4. The very first video, you are going to appreciate whatever I have done substantially. Bye.